Ladies and gentlemen, Ken Burns, we're very excited. Ken Burns, the acclaimed documentary filmmaker, will be out in just a moment. He was last here on our show on September of 2003, and turns out, I didn't realize this, it turns out that he has spent the last 4 years, since I last saw him, working on a documentary about that appearance on our show. So, I didn't believe it either. Here it is, folks. I just dropped a bunch. Welcome to the Jerry Lewis Show. Here it is. Ken Burns' appearance on Late Night with Conan O'Brien right there. It is 14 DVDs set. It's 26 hours long. Check it out. It's got all right here. I just dropped a bunch, but beautiful, really. It's an amazing film. They've got narration. Parts of it are narrated by the late George Plimpton. And I thought we'd show you a clip right now. Take a look.
My next guest is an award-winning documentarian whose films include the Civil War, baseball, and jazz. His latest film is called Horatio's Drive, America's First Road Trip. Please welcome Ken Burns. Conan O'Brien, September 23rd, 2003.
It started with a routine introduction, a means of reminding the audience who the next guest was and familiarizing them with his or her best-known work.
After the monologue, Conan said who the guests were that night, but a lot had happened since then, and I had forgotten who the third guest was. When Conan introduced Ken Burns, I remembered who the third guest was. It was Ken Burns.
At 1:15 on the evening of September 23rd, 2003, the curtains opened, and Ken Burns made his inauspicious debut on the set of Late Night with Conan O'Brien.
I'm excited you're here. Conan O'Brien, September 23rd, 2003.
Thanks for having me. Ken Burns, September 23rd, 2003.
Well, I've always been a big fan of Ken Burns' work. But for some reason, I never had him on the show before. We've had Ed Burns. You know Ed Burns, the actor? That guy, it's like, I'm Ed Burns. Look at me, I'm Ed Burns. You know that guy? But he isn't really like Ken Burns at all. Except for the last name. Burns. It's the same.
Conan and Ken briefly touched on some of the filmmaker's past works, such as the Civil War and baseball, but the seeds of change were in the air, and the course of the interview would soon take a dramatic turn.
I remember the exact moment that it happened. Ken had just finished telling an anecdote that was, actually, I don't remember at all what the anecdote was about. I'm just guessing it was, documentary related, some crap like that. Anyway, Ken finished telling his story, and I said, so tell us about your new project. It sounds really fascinating. Well, at that point, I knew there was no going back.
And going back there wasn't, for the remainder of the interview would be focused solely on Ken Burns' new film, Horatio's Drive, America's First Road Trip.
It's all here. Check it out. $600. That's not a bad price. We'll take a break. When we come back, Ken Burns is here himself. Stick around.